How do you humanize your brand? I think, guys, the first thing, which is the most important thing about humanization of the brand, is, do you even have the mindset of wanting to humanize your brand? If you have aversion to it, then let me tell you, the next few points doesn't really make sense at all. It is it is about making sure that you have really understood the concept and believe in that concept, and you want to go all out. So until and unless you have that mindset of going all out with your brand, you will not be able to humanize your brand at all. Indeed, the first and the foremost thing I have to mention is the mindset, or frame of mind, to say, where you are have the willingness to be able to have a voice for yourself. Next, how do you do that? One of the most important step to humanize your brand is to go with your story all out. Start telling your story. A story where people can resonate, connect, and find you relatable, can find you as more human than ever. The as much as perfect you seem like, the more difficult it gets to be able to get a brand established for yourself which is humanized enough. The more you talk about your daily life, your daily stories, struggles, or let's just say you talk about a clientele, or you talk about a incident with a vendor, that's how you can make sure that you go all out with humanizing your brand. As simple as a story that I shared during the start of the call, that 2019 has been a year which has taught me the most ever since. And if I look back, the only reason is that probably I made some mistakes which helped me learn better about life, about health, about mindset, and as well as about goal setting. So, this way, you will be able to connect with people realistically. And the next thing that you got to do is, after storytelling, is tell me, don't you connect with people when they are a lot more authentic, when they are genuinely vulnerable, when they are there in a space which is highly transparent? And that's something which is super, super, super important. How do you go all out and super transparent and not enact, not just look right for one picture? Like, I've heard so many stories where there are influencers who are dieting just to get the right picture, but actually they don't feel like doing it. So that's not your inner self. Your inner self is who you are. Today you don't feel right, you don't feel right. To And the next moment you feel like top of the world, you feel like top of the world. You cracked a client, that's amazing. You lost a client, that's sad. But all of this is part and parcel of your own life. And as much as you admit it, you're transparent about it, you're all out and vocal about it, that something makes you more human than ever. Next one, guys, is very important, and you really have to understand that whenever you want to humanize your brand, have a voice which is in itself unique. Talk, have your own style of talking. Get inspired with 5 to 10 different people, that's absolutely all right. But do not copy people. Have your own style of presenting yourself, have your own style of talking. Let's say you are doing podcast, let's say you are doing writing, then have your own theme to it, have your own taste to it. Learn from experts, go and take inspirations from across the web, but never fade out yourself from it, because it's you who people love, who want to follow, who want to learn from, who they relate to, and not anybody else, even not to the top guys, because it's you. So, indeed, have that side of you put out. Have a voice, have a visual cue as well, guys. Visual cue is something with which you relate with people. Like, I know Goldie Chan on LinkedIn, she has green hairs. Sorry, guys, just 1 second. There's extreme noise at my end. Okay, so I know Goldie Chan. She has green hairs, and that's her branding. I've heard people talking about my beats quite a few times as my visual cue. So indeed, there are so many things that can be your visual cue. I have seen now my partner Chetan. He has a hat in his profile picture. That's his visual cue. So what's your visual cue? Have that as well established before you go all out with your brand. And even if you've gone out with your brand, just also at that same time make sure that you pick up a visual cue and see whether people are connecting with your cue or not, because that will help you build a small stronger memorability for your brand. Guys, I've always shared three, but for this one I'm going to share a little bit more. And something that is very important here is when you're trying to humanize your brand, it's not only about curating content. Some people might be shy about curating content and feel like, okay, that's not something I can really do. So this one is only for you guys if you are shy, and if you feel like that's not my space where I want to curate content, then this is focus on relationships. Focus on talking to as many people as you can, adding value to them. Give first, see how you can bring a change in their life. And that's where the real difference is. Indeed, allowing yourself to be able to be in a space where you can talk to like-minded people is also a way how you humanize yourself. It doesn't mean the people who are curating content will not do this. No, you need to do it as well. So this is for everyone, but someone who is not in the content space, please go all out and start building relationship, fixing some virtual calls which is not motive oriented but community oriented, which are not related to just go all out and sell. No, guys, I'm not talking about those calls where you're trying to sell something. I'm talking about calls where you just get to know the person's story. You go all out and connect with them. And this is what really, really matters. Relationship is the key to be able to build long term bonds where you can even end up getting a co founder like I did. So, Anil as a co founder was someone who, somewhere, if I connect all the dots, happened to me because I was talking to a person who connected me to Anil, and then we met, and then the relationship grew further, and then finally he's today with us in Beyond 99. So this is how you can even end up meeting your partners, your clients, your founders, or beyond that. So humanization of brand is a value that you curate for yourself slowly with a whole lot of patience, which, because it is not an overnight thing. It is indeed not about a going viral. So let me tell you, brand humanization is not something that once you grow viral, you have a brand for yourself. No, guys, that's not how it happens. Of course, going viral adds to your brand, but being consistent is what makes it different, makes it long lasting. So